the thing that I didn't quite get was how hard it was to go from something that was interesting and working to something that was fundable and had a long lifeline and had a business plan and a business model. And, could really
and is that just continuous iteration, or like?
Yeah, it's continuous iteration, but there's some real step functions on this thing, right? Because you iterate, but at some point you've got to get somebody to give you a little bit of money to pursue the thing, right?
Yeah.
Unless you've got some great money-making idea right off the bat. The vast majority needs some sort of outside. And so you've got to get an angel or somebody in the seed to say, well, that's good enough for me. So you have to hit these functions. Then you get a little bit of money, and it's like, okay, well, now we can maybe hire somebody besides the founders. And you have to go through that, and then it's like, well, now how do I measure this, and where are we going? And then your needs to expand become more and more expensive, and the competition starts to creep in, and the macro environment of the space you're in changes, and competitors come and go. So it's I still, since we started the company, I almost every day when I wake up and check the news or I look at my phone, I'm waiting for an alert to come in of like something changed. Somebody bought somebody else, somebody's issued a competing product, your stuff's crashing, who knows, right? But you kind of have this like literally on the edge of your seat permanently, right? So you're kind of in this permanent adrenaline piece. It was funny, today we were doing a panel and we had one of the guys back out and everybody's all upset. Oh no, what are we going to do? And I was just like, I just don't panic anymore because my life's just kind of a steady panic. So I just learn to absorb it.
That's actually such a good thing. Like, it's like steady, and don't panic. Like things happen, but you can also. It's the way you respond to some of those challenges.
Yeah,
right?
I remember where I learned this early. Was at Microsoft. We were launching some new game thing, I think Games for Windows or something. And we had a big press event down in the valley where we were showing all this stuff. And we go in there to get this thing working. We'd been weeks in the process. The press was there. And some of the cables weren't displaying right. And the guy giving the presentation, I'm just like dying. I'm like, we got to get this fixed. And he's just like, we'll make it work, right? If it doesn't work, we're going to get it. And just to see how cool he was, I was just like, wow, one day I want to remain that calm, with conflict. And it's really, but what I realized is it doesn't do any good to panic against that stuff, right? I mean, you keep
And
a clear
I also
head.
think that's a big lesson for if you're leading a company, all your employees are looking at you and how you respond to anything.
Yeah.
So if you're freaking out about things, well, what are they going to do?
So I was given one of my very early pitches to some VCs. It might have been probably the first 2 or 3 VCs I talked to. This was a partnership meeting, right? So this is where they brought the whole team in. We're going to decide whether or not to invest in Glimpse, make or break. And I was doing my presentation, and the thing failed. The screen went dark, and the cable stopped working, right? And I remember trying to get it to work, and we'll do this, and I was just like, well, close that, and let's just talk about it. Not thinking anything about it. Afterwards, one of the partners was there, talked to me a few days afterwards. He says, one of the reasons they're interested in your company is they liked how you handled that very stressful, potentially stressful situation. And I had no idea, but that was a thing. And like you say, you've got that, and then you can't, like, I've had 3 or 4 times where like, I'm just like panicking. I'm like, wow, how am I going to deal with that? But you're right, everybody's looking at you, right, to decide how to do that.